Hi, Professor Rodriguez. My name is Michelle Brown Osborne, and this is week 2 for the lab video. It is Tuesday morning, and I apologize for it being late. I know there's no excuses. I was just traveling for work last week and got sick and found myself just behind. So I'm really looking forward to this week and being on top of things. And so anyways, we'll dive in. So this week was chapter 3 and 4 and covering the topic of histology, which is the microscopic study of anatomy, which we focused on cells and cell tissue. So we know that there's over 1 billion cells in the body that's created daily, and of these billions of cells, there's 4 different kinds of tissues. And a tissue is a group of cells that work together to form the same function. There's epithelial, there's connective tissue, there is muscle tissue, and neural. So each one has a lot of subcategories, so I'll go over that. The main thing to know is that epithelial tissue is a layer of cells. So it can be simple, it can be a single layer of the 3 types of cells, which is squamous, the flat ones, the cuboidal, the cube ones, or the columnar. And of the epithelial tissue, it really creates a barrier between the internal and external environments. So a great example would be skin. It's the largest organ of the human body. Of these kinds of epithelial tissues, there's a simple, there's a stratified, which is the multiple layers, and then there's transitional, which is also a multiple layer, but these cells specifically contract and expand, and a good example of that would be the bladder, which we all know what it does. The next form of tissue is connective tissue. Connective tissue has 4 different kinds. There is connective tissue proper, which has dense and loose connective tissue. There is supportive connective tissue and fluid. So connective tissue proper, they have fibers that reinforce the structures by collagen bundles and reticular fibers. These have different patterns. They can be parallel or they can be unparalleled. The loose connective tissue, it contains the fat cells, which is adipocytes, creating adipose tissue, and it really, fat cells, what it does is it helps store fat for protection and for stored energy, insulation. The next one is supportive connective tissue. So think of bone and cartilage, and it provides structure and strength to tissues. It there's a rigid form, and then and then there's I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I'll just pass that one. The next one is the fluid connective tissue, and this is the lymph and the blood cells. And so you have a bunch of unspecialized cells just circulating in a fluid. The next one is muscle tissue. So there's 3 different kinds. There's skeletal, there's muscle, and there's skeletal, there's cardiac, and there's smooth muscle tissue. So skeletal provides 40% of the body's mass. It's attached to bones and entrance of the body points, and it creates heat and protects organs, and it also creates voluntary movement. The cardiac muscle tissue has cardiomyocytes. It has a single nucleus, and it's special in the way that it has both anchor and gap junctions, and those are the intercalated discs. So it helps contract blood, pump blood to the heart, and the location is the heart. It's very straightforward. The last part is smooth muscle tissue, and it lines the walls of organs and passageways, and it has so many functions. It allows moving food, has involuntary movement, and it helps regulate the blood flow to the arteries. The last one, Professor Rodriguez, is a neural tissue. I remember taking a biopsychology class in community college, and this was my least favorite topic, but basically it's very complex, but the body has the neuron and neuroglia, and it basically allows the body to send messages through electrochemical impulses called action potentials, and travels down the axon, the long tail, and carries it to another excitable cell. So very important, and those are the recap of all the tissues and functions in the human body. Thank you.